What up?
What's up, Eagle Talk family?
Hey, everybody. We are excited to be back and listen.
Auntie in the building.
Okay. So my baby, if you are listening on the podcast and you can't see me, so make sure that you hop on over to YouTube and you see the visual podcast because your girl done switched it up on them, didn't I?
Right. See, Lou got a red head.
Okay, y'all. So went today. Let me tell you a funny story. I guess this is gonna be my check-in. So went today. If you don't know, and some people actually don't know, is that I rock wigs, right? Just because it's easier for working out, but I don't do it because I don't have natural hair. I actually got a whole lot of natural hair, and it was funny because I get my hair done by the best hairstylist in Dallas. Her name is Muff.
Shout out to Muff.
Yes, shout out Muff. Have you been muffed? And you know how it is at the beauty shop, y'all. You end up being like a little family. Some people come in, and Muff's clientele really does consist of a lot of entrepreneurs. Because first of all, Muff ain't cheap. So you got to be working a good job or got some good income coming in. But no, seriously, she is a doll, and I love her. But Nana, who is one of the clients there, we have probably seen each other 11 times. But today was the first day that Nana was there as Muff was blow drying and braiding my natural hair. And she could not believe it. She was like, Rosemary, why do you wear a wig? And this, y'all, just for convenience. So shout out to all the girls with the brown skin that we know we could be natural. You know what? Natural sisters, y'all are the real MVPs.
Well, one of the reasons, though, is because you work out a lot.
I do work out.
Yeah.
And I sweat. And, I toy with the idea of letting natural go, like letting my hair just be natural, but it's just more work. Like I need something where I can just get out and go. And I'm not like, hair is not my ministry. So today, another thing I like about wigs is that you get to switch it up on them. So what we gonna name her? She Auntie, but Auntie not sexy. This kind of sexy red. Which one we gonna name her? Roxy or Foxy?
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it, and that's just gonna be for us, y'all. So that's that. But tell us your check-in, honey. What you been up to today?
It's hot, and I got locked out on my car 4 times. Well, I drive a Tesla for those that know me. But apparently there is a battery under the hood, which we don't have an engine, so it's nothing but storage under there. But there's a battery that you have to change. I guess I had my car 4 years, so I guess every 4 years or so. And my key wasn't recognizing my car. So called my good friend Cornell on the 4th time after I couldn't figure it out and the car completely died. And you can start your car from the app, which is the only way I made it to talk to y'all today.
Yeah, he made it. Now that's his version. Let me tell you our family's version. So y'all know that gas is like no punk right now. So
how much is gas? I have no idea.
Yeah, he has no idea. But because he keeps bragging to us that he has a Tesla and he was ahead of the game and yada, yada, yada. But Corey, I love my husband. But maintenance things, like changing air conditioning filters, changing light bulbs, like all of those warnings, like he doesn't really heed those warning signs, right? Be like, the air conditioner ain't working. When last time you changed filters? I don't know. Filters. So like one day I threatened to break up with him and then he went up there and changed the filters.
It was hot.
So this battery thing that just mysteriously his car just hasn't been working the 4 times today. Baby, about how long has Tesla been notifying you with that battery light that you needed to change the 10-volt battery?
Well, apparently I just found out. I flew home, finally got home, gave Corey a picture of it and told him to order it real quick on Amazon. It was like $400-something. Can you believe that?
But how long? Anyway, how long the light been coming out?
And I told Corey, stop what you're doing because I need you to order it real quick so I can.
No, you need it immediately.
Yeah. He said, "Well, it ain't my fault. The light been on for 6 months telling you to change it. Now you rushing me." And I told him, I said, "You ain't too grown to get popped in your mouth, boy."
But he ain't never lied on his daddy. One thing he did not do was lie on his father. So, right. Y'all pray our strength, our maintenance strength. That's one thing I did not. I got into this marriage knowing that I was not marrying a handyman by all means.
No.
But for the most part, we might get blacked out a day or two. the pantry light. Did you fix the pantry light?
Pantry light out. Flashlight. I had a flashlight last night trying to get some potato chips. Did you hear me smacking on them chips?
Yeah, that's the life we live in. So we're
sorry, y'all.
But he will hire somebody. So but that was rough when we was broke. I'm not really mad about it now because he does hire people to come out. But when you broke and you don't fix nothing, come on, that
the whole problem
that caused a lot of tension in the marriage. But anywho, that was a light way to start our topic today, babe. Yeah. You want to let them know what we're talking about?
Yeah, we're talking about YOLO, and not from the aspect of kicking it or hanging out. It is summertime, 4th of July is coming up, but just from the perspective of life. We have had a couple of deaths the last 6-7 months, major deaths in our lives. Mm-hmm. And we just had a conversation. Were we in Chicago when we talked about it?
We started it. Well, yeah, we were in Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah. And we were just really kind of asking ourselves, just what are we doing? Right? What is our legacy going to be? What is it going to look like? And just kind of making sure that we were on par with what we wanted to focus on for the future.
Yeah, so YOLO, in case you don't know the acronym, YOLO means you only live once. Mm-hmm. And I think for a lot of us that became a little more popular with the homie Drake when he had that. So how does that song go?
I don't remember.
I'm about to say, baby, you my everything. That's not the song.
That's not it.
Okay, but anyway, you only live once, right? But we really started thinking about it from a different aspect because it has been, it's crazy because we definitely, and if you are friends with me on Facebook or even on Instagram, I've been very transparent about how I am both in the best and worst season of my life, right? And we just recently, Corey just lost a really dear friend. Y'all traveled together in April.
April now, yeah.
Yeah, they traveled together in April, and the last Sunday in May, he looked at a message on his phone and tossed it over to me. And it was from his friend's wife saying that he passed away in his sleep. Totally unexpected. And it just felt like another gut punch, right? But also another realization that you really only live once, right? And it just makes us more reflective, and it's causing us to be more reflective about the life that we are living. Where are we holding back? Where are we really doing what every day? Not just thinking because you have more time, right? I thought I had more time with my mother. I know that when my sister passed, she thought she had more time. I can only imagine that your friend, he was young, only 45.
We were saying age 44. He would be 40. Would have been 45 on our anniversary.
On our wedding anniversary,
August the 8th.
So
4th, August 4th.
You think you have more time, right? And the reality of the matter is that we just don't. You just never know. So every day, are we going YOLO? You only live once, and that's just kind of been our thought processes lately.
Yeah, we were in Miami last month. And we had a really good conversation. He was in a really good place in life, actually. But we had the last day, me and him talked just outside to 4 a.m, 5 a.m. And we talked about what our subject is.
Yeah.
Right? Just legacy. He was really happy for his son. He's about to start driving, getting ready for college. And just a lot of things that he was about to do in his life that he'll never get a chance to do. And it just that conversation just plays in my mind really every day.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. So of course it's a blessing, that you all had that time, but it's still a shock, and I mean, it's a shock to our system. It's, definitely praying for his wife and his kids, but y'all, from the Uvalde shooting to, just different people there are so many people that are waking up and are not, they're not going back home or they aren't waking up. And one thing that Corey and I talked about is that even us, we talk about legacy, right? But what really is legacy? And as we were thinking about just what's happened in our life, I think a lot of us or a lot of people say, hey, I want to leave a legacy. And one day I was like, well, a legacy just ain't life insurance.
No, it's not.
It's not just, and it's not even just wealth or houses or whatever, but truly, what are we doing on a daily basis to impact the world around us? And I think you said it. You said that if something was to ever happen to you, you just don't want to be a post for a day and a half, right?
Yeah. I did say that. And actually, me and my friend, well, what happened was it's 10 of us. There's 9 of us, but my dean came. And we do what I normally do. We have a conversation. We start the conversation where I make everybody in the room go around about how their life is. We didn't talk really business, but how life is and what you're grateful for. But I made them give 3 things.
And let me just stop there though, and just say what a blessing it is, and to have that. And I see your growth, right? I see your growth to have these type. There are so many men. There are so many people, but men especially, that don't get to have these authentic conversations. And you think about how many people out there have people that you say, you have been my friend forever, but y'all have never gone deep.
Yeah.
So I just applaud you, because I know that is something that you've grown to initiate conversation like that. What a blessing it is to have the conversation, and now to have that memory. And I want to talk to any men out there, or just anybody, like, don't be afraid to have these conversations where we go under the surface with the people in our lives.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I learned. And I do it in 2 aspects. I do it from, with my friends, but I also host a quarterly mastermind. And we do it here in Dallas. And these are business associates mainly. But we do the same thing, except we start off with how is your business, and then give us something that you're grateful for. Right. So same thing, just 2 different aspects. But I did get a chance to talk to him about that. And I made a comment, and I said, I want to go deep in this conversation, because if something happens, I don't want, somebody just to be a Facebook RIP post for a year and a half. I mean, a day and a half.
Yeah.
And, a month later, he had passed.
Yeah. So Corey, when you think about right now, like, just with everything that's happening, you and I know you and I have talked about it, about YOLO, like really living once, right? You read or were listening to David Goggins, and he said something about how many of us are working or just living to our potential and the percentage.
Yeah. And
that left an impression on you. So if you could share that, and then also just personally, what fire did that light for you?
Well, David Goggins, for those of you don't know, is a Navy SEAL. He tried a couple of times. I think he got in on his 3rd time. It's just, SEAL training is really, really, really hard. He's also a ultra marathoner. He ran like 100 and something miles and 60 something miles. Really good book. But anyways, he made a comment in his book that most people, not Americans, most people are only living up to 40% of their potential. And that stuck with me, because we had said it on here plenty of times, that even though we're okay, we're doing good, and we have a certain level of success, we know that we're not. Yeah, because you get comfortable. Yeah, you get comfortable, or life happens. Yeah,
I think for a good portion of some things that, after my mom died, that really shook us up a little bit, and we were still moving, but there was and still is some healing time, but sometimes we can confuse that with complacency.
Yeah, I think that even though I had said it out of my own mouth before on Eagle Talk, that hearing it from him, especially in this season, it hit a whole lot different. Actually, I had a meeting with my son last night, with Corey last night, and we were talking legacy and generational wealth, which is a term, a popular term that people throw around now, but really what we want that to look like.
Yeah.
And I told Rosemary that one of my goals this year, I didn't know I'd be able to do it by, June, was to buy each one of my kids a house. And I've done that, which is just crazy to even think about. But I've been really, really hyper focused on doing that to get them rental properties and to show them how to run it, not just give it to them and say, here, but I really want them to be in the business, understand how to pay the taxes, how to deal with the utilities, the tenants, make sure the grass is cut, and just things that you need to do. Know. Yeah. And being in this business
and doing that now. Right.
And doing it now.
Because, God forbid, we pray that God, just covers us and allows us many more years on this earth and together. But, we don't want to say, hey, when the kids turn this age or when this happens, we'll do that, because that time is not promised.
Yeah.
I think about just in terms of talking about legacy, because of course you talked about the houses and things like that. But I think about my mom, right? And you gave a great example. For those of you that don't know, now you know. I'm writing a book, and that, look, it's scary to say that because it's I think I've said it, but like I'm just announcing, like I'm writing a book and it will be completed this summer. And in this book, I'm really it's grief, but love and all the things. And I'm reliving and going through the final days of my mother's life. And in that, her legacy is what was apparent and rallied around her. And when we talk about YOLO, every single day, my mom lived from a place of service, of a place of helping. Like, she didn't wait till somebody called her to say, hey, can you help this person, or can you do that?
Right.
Each day she was operating in her gifting. And then just the other day, someone, actually my business coach, gave me a wind chime that I think it's something that a lot of people give in memorial. And honestly, it brings us so much joy. So I'm going to start gifting this. But you sent me a text yesterday, and because Corey was, what were you doing? Where were you?
I was making some coffee, actually. It was yesterday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you heard the wind chime.
I heard the wind chime. And I just sent you a message, not trying to make it a somber moment. It was really more of a celebration.
It was. In
my opinion. And it was just, I just felt God talking to us through your mother, through the wind chime, that all of the prayers that she prayed for us in our life, during her lifetime, and, for us to live well and do well, that she was still here with us. And
it was going to pass. Like, God was honoring her prayers.
Yeah.
And that just got us to thinking, though, like, yo, like, what we doing is all right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What we doing is cool, but are we really living like we only live once, right? Or are we living like we are going to get shot? And we are believers, like, so we understand that we're going to have everlasting life, right? And that we are going to, our belief is that we will see Jesus and that we will live forever in abundance. But on this side of heaven, okay, every day, are we showing up like this is the one shot we got on earth?
Right. I just think, I think a lot of things now, because a lot of things that used to mean or matter don't.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
And y'all know she always said, I bet it all on black and all of that, which is true to a degree. But I think that now I have a different understanding of what I want life to look like. The journey. And I mean, my 10-year-old has a rental. You know what I'm saying? Like, that means something. Like, I didn't. Let's just say we just have a tangible asset, something that we can grow and learn from together, and that just means something to me. I'll leave it there. No,
I love that. And even not even just, we have the asset, but we also have the memories, right?
Yeah.
And you have the time spent. And how many of us, okay, I'm talking to business owners and entrepreneurs, like, this year, one thing that we're doing with our kids is we are working through a summer bucket list. And that summer bucket list is like, our son created it, but honestly, it's a reminder for us in this grind, in this entrepreneur journey, in this, showing up for business and clients and each other, that, we need to have intentional time with our kids too. And that is legacy. That is pouring into them and giving us, it's just making us be reflective, because how many people, like, we know people right now who always thought that, I'm thinking of a friend of ours that we had that his parents were sure, like, when we retire, boom, that's it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get the house in Florida. We're going to spend all this time together. And one of the parents, they retired. One of the parents lived maybe 2 months later, right?
Yeah. Because that's another close friend of mine. He retired at 60. He worked for like 37 years for the water department. He retired at 69, bought a townhouse in Fort Lauderdale, where he thought that he would just play golf, the rest of his life. And by 70, he caught pneumonia and he passed.
And he passed away because sometimes we fool ourselves. And whether that be, hey, once retirement happens, I'm going to do this. Whether it's, hey, when things slow down, then I'm going to spend time with my kids. or we go start going on date nights. Once this happened, I'm going to, I was at the beauty shop today, and Nana, the lady I was talking about that didn't know I had hair, she was like, girl, I didn't know you had hair at all.
Stuff is bald headed.
Look, shout out to the bald queens though. Y'all fine.
But I'm thinking of something.
Well, let me tell you, but Nana said she's going to Fort Lauderdale, and she's blessed. The Lord has blessed her voluptuously in her body. And she was like, look, I'm wearing a 2-piece. YOLO, sis. Right. Why are you waiting? And that's the point that I'm getting, is that a lot of times we will put stipulations on ourselves. Once this happens, then I'll start living or walking in my calling or walking in my gifting. And the reality is we need to start walking now.
Well, I am reflecting on a story actually you told me in Chicago, which is when you went to the women's conference. And I love the fact that this lady shared it with you. I wasn't there, you told me. But the realtor that said she showed her commission checks to her son. Yep. Like, can you imagine that? Like, being a realtor, you get a $30,000 check, you show your kid. You get a $50,000 check, you show. You get a $7,000 check, and you show your kid. You are planting a different seed in their mind.
Yeah.
Right. That and everybody, you need workers and you need entrepreneurs. I get all of that, but that lady is obviously planting something in her child to be his own.
Well, the way she described it, and shout out to her, Denise the broker. She not just a realtor, she owns the largest African-American female-owned brokerage in Atlanta.
My apologies, Denise. Let me put some respect on your situation.
Yes, respect on her situation. 34 years old, about to open a brokerage in Dubai. Was a single mom. She has a 13-year-old son. And she said, she was like, how, because we're in real estate, she's like, so how, you will see stuff like people say, don't sell grandma's house. But she was like, but if a kid who's never, like, think about it. My parents, like my mom, I wrote her checks, but she didn't teach me, or my parents didn't teach me about money, about what they earned, about the value. So she said, so if you have a kid that you've never, ever exposed to how hard you work to get what you got, the sacrifices, what you had coming in and going out, and then you just give them a house at 25 and they can sell it and make 50, 60, 70, 100 grand. Yeah. You can't fault them if they didn't know. So what she said is, I show my son everything. I show him every commission check. I show him every investment. And from the time he was little, as long as she's been doing it, she said, because when I pass on and I leave this to him, I need him to understand the value of it. Yeah. That's legacy, right? And just sending, and that's what we said, like, okay, we need to get these kids involved in, not just, you got a house, when you turn 18, I'm gonna turn it over to you and, let it pay for college. But nah, like, this tenant need us to call the water company, get on hold, homie. Call the water, let me know when
and that's so important, man. And I've studied and still studying some of the best, and just stories that people don't even know about. Like, about 2 months ago, I YouTubed, I don't know how it popped up on my feed, but I think I told you about the Nordstrom family.
Yes, you did.
They it started with the great granddad, and it went to the his son, then the son's sons, then a couple of the nephews that were not partners and stuff. Amazing stories. It might be, I don't know, 45 minutes, but just to see how one person in the family thought.
Yeah. And
how still, anybody been to Nordstrom's, in your life or lately? They're everywhere, right? So his one thought that started in Seattle somewhere, just a small store, to just hear how he thought and how he wanted to create something for his family is just a different type of big thing for me.
And can we all agree, whether or not you shop at Nordstrom, he left a legacy.
Absolutely.
And the legacy is larger than, of course, I know it's impacted his family nucleus, but it's larger than that.
Yeah. And also, in talking legacy and YOLO and all that, take some time to listen to these people's stories.
Yes.
The Sam Waltons, the Rothschilds, the Kennedys, all of that stuff is important because it makes you start to think and do different things when it comes to you and your family.
So Corey and I, we went to, I got a question for you. So do you want me to ask you the question and let you ponder on it while I talk about this? Or you want, okay. So the question is, I want to know for you specifically, in talking about YOLO, what are you doing different? Okay, so I'll come back to that. What are you doing different to to let that present itself in your life. Sure. But we were in Chicago a couple weeks ago, and I attended the License and Unbothered conference. Malik, I'm going to say her name wrong, and I don't even know how I can't think of her name right now, but super dope lady out of Chicago. And she made a comment that, just in terms of just talking about, it wasn't a name it and claim it type event, but it was just kind of like, this is what it looks like if you just keep going. And if you just keep doing the work God is calling you to do and how it impacts. And at one point she made a comment like, I remember when we had our first conference, this was year number 4. And she was like, it was 65 people there and it was sold out. And then, the next year, like the first year they had the conference, the second year it was COVID. So she had to revert to Zoom. Which she said was the best thing because it grew the audience, and then, it just grew. And I was in a room with, 300 other female realtors or female business owners. And just, I saw the evolution of the experience. And when she said 65, I was like, dang, that's how many people we had at the first Eagle Talk, right? Mm-hmm. And what did I do? I came back and I told you, because what happens, y'all, when you're YOLOing, right? And when you're serving and when you're doing, sometimes you get weary and well doing. Yeah. Like, I'm be honest. Sometimes me and Corey be like, man, these folks ain't listening. You know what I'm saying? Like our technician, Glennis tell us all the time, if we fight on here, y'all are all tuning in.
Our views will go up.
Yeah, our views will go up. But we're not going to do that because that's not what we're representing. But I loved going there because it told me, like, just keep pushing. And when I heard her story and exposed myself, I invested to go there. Not only did I get, I got some knowledge about real estate, but it really lit my fire for what we're doing here, right? Mm-hmm. So I wanted to just share that to say, if you're YOLO, if like you're in ministry or you just loving on neighbors or you're, whatever that looks like, trying to get God community together, or you're building your portfolio and it just feels like, man, this is just so hard. Don't get weary and well doing. Yeah. Because you only live once, right? So if not you, then who?
Okay.
So what about you?
Answering your question. And I'll just speak on a couple things. One of the first things that I'm doing is I am attempting to take better care of my body.
Okay.
Right? You guys know we stopped drinking for a while. I went 62 days. She went further than me.
I went further, but then...
Well, I actually broke. The day that my friend died, that night I had I just had some red wine. So I broke my streak. But that's okay. I mean... so that's the first thing. Gym, stuff like that is easy, but I cut out red meat again. So just stuff like that as far as taking care of myself. Another thing is I'm spending more intentional time in talking to my kids.
No, that's good. I think for me, I am back to doing it scared.
Yeah.
Right? You and I had a very detailed conversation because in full transparency, y'all, we just be doing Eagle Talk. We love it. And when I say just be doing it, we really hadn't set goals and expectations. Yeah. Because it happened in such an organic way.
Totally unscripted.
Yeah, totally organic. Yeah. If you, one day we go pull up the first one. We probably on a 2-year anniversary. It literally was just a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live. But we set some goals around it, right? Yeah. About really you know what? We're doing this for an audience of 1. And we are I was in Chicago and a lady walked up to me you remind me of this girl I know, but she got a podcast and she live in Texas. So I don't think that's you. And I'm like, it's me. You're actually watching. But us not getting caught up in who or what, but really going after it, right? Yeah. And just because we know that God has blessed us abundantly, and I'm not talking things, just in mindset and the way we think, the way we can, the fact that we ain't crazy after everything we've been through. Mm-hmm. And we want to actually put some goals and some effort behind reaching out, right? Writing a book, for me, that I feel so unqualified to do that, but that's something that in my quiet time with the Lord, he revealed to me that's going to be a part of my healing process, and he was going to use my healing process to help heal others. And then I just recently invested and joined in a high-level mastermind, mm-hmm. Which was scary. It was scary,
but totally smart on your part.
Yeah,
for sure.
With other female Christian entrepreneur ladies that are doing things at a high level, mm-hmm. but surrounding myself, I had to make a 5-figure investment in that. And that was nervous. You know, I was nervous to do it, but I'm like, you only live once. So at what, like, if I don't invest in me, then who to invest in me? Yeah. So those are just some of the things that we're doing, and we want to know what you're doing. We would love to know, what does that look like for you? Yeah.
And just, you know, to end on it, this conversation is really, I want to say, yeah, well, it's not really about us because we've already had it. We've had it on a continuous basis, right?
Yeah.
It's for our viewers to start thinking about their lives, their kids and grandkids, and really what they want that to look like. I mean, we can do this off air.
We could do it off air. And this is the thing that I say, and I've said it before, but I'm going to heaven on E.
Yeah, as you should. As we should.
And we should, right? And how many times, I'm thinking of another friend that we had 10 years ago. Even at his services, his brother did it, and his brother was like, "But I just don't know if he did everything he was supposed to do."
Yeah,
I don't want that to be, you know, between me and God. I want to get up to the pearly gates, and he be like, "Hey, I know you had no clue what I had you up to, but your answer was yes."
Yeah.
And when the bottom fell out, your answer was yes. And well done, good and faithful servant. That's what I'm going for. And, you know, we understand that there are going to be some challenges. There may be some notoriety. There may be some money. There may be some loss of money. Whatever it is that he has for us, we're going to go for it. And we're just going to encourage y'all to do the same, because guess what, babies? You only live once.
Yeah. I want to thank y'all for tuning in to Eagle Talk. We are back at work. Summertime, we're working on a lot of different projects, which is cool. With Eagle Talk Live conversations are starting to happen again. So it's going to be interesting. And we just want to thank y'all for tuning in.
Yep.
And
go ahead and share, you know, do all the things, and then check in with us next week, because we are going to share with you our summer. We know y'all going on them trips and vacations and stuff, and we know you partying and all that, but throw an earbud in your ear and listen to Audible. Get you some knowledge. We're going to be sharing what is on our Audible reading list for summer 2022.
Yep.
All right. Bye, y'all.
See ya.